So today is January 27th. This is Math Workshop this week, but I am recording it because with it being volume, like we're practicing stuff from last week, guys. So the only reason I'm recording it is in case it'll help you. Like here's another drop of it. Okay, starting out with like number 1. We are finding the volume, and the key is they first want us to shade a base and find the volume. Now we found out last week shading a base can be any wall. It's kind of up to you which wall you choose. I choose whatever my eyeballs kind of see the easiest, I guess. So what I'm saying is, like I'm going to choose this wall. I see that it is a 3 by 5. You don't have to. You can do a different one. But I'm going to choose that one because it is a 3 by 5. Now, I see that it's got 3 or more numbers. So I need this formula. Volume equals length times width times height. And the L needs to be a little cursive L. Okay. We also learned that whatever you shade needs to be the first 2 numbers. It doesn't matter if I do 5 times 3 or 3 times 5. But they need to be my first 2 numbers. My other number is a 10. That's going to be the number I haven't used yet, and I'm going to use it here. Listen, you don't use every number. Please. There's only 3 numbers in volume and sometimes 2. That one's just there to trick you. So I get a 15 times 10 is 150. Volume is always to the 3rd power, or cubed. You put a little 3 at the end.
Is it okay if you do it
Try to do it step by step. Try to. It's okay, just watch out for the cord. You're good. Keep going. Okay. On number 2. Here I go. Move it over. Okay. On number 2, shade in the base and find the volume. I know the F is missing. Find the volume. Okay. I'm going to use, I don't know, this one is the base, I guess. I can tell that it is a 6 by 15. I saw the top first, but either one, they're the same thing, so it doesn't matter. Using my 3 number formula, length times width times height, 6 by 15, and the other number is 32. Yes, 2,880 millimeters cubed to the 3rd power. Okay, so this is what we did on Tuesday last week and pretty much Wednesday. Okay, now when we get back, I want, if you would, be putting Math Workshop in your binder. Be putting Math Workshop up. And when we get back, we are going to start this, and it is called Surface Area. Basically, it's our shapes that were next last week. We're going to talk about each one, kind of unfolding it, and the measurements, where they go, and then finding the area of each one. Okay. This is going to take, if I was you, I like highlighter. I'm going to highlight a bunch. Definitely use a pencil. And I'm just kind of going to be blunt here and say it. Get over the writing. Meaning, it takes a lot of writing. Okay? It takes a lot. You got to write the formulas. You got to write the math. It just takes a lot of writing. Also, if for some reason you cannot see, please move up today. Because when we get back and I start this, there's going to be writing all around it. Okay? So please, if you can't see something when I'm doing it, come up. I don't, you can sit on the floor or whatever. That doesn't bother me. Okay, so we're going to start this when we get back. So, we're back to lunch. We're going to now start surface area. Now, with surface area, each shape is different. Each shape is, we got to kind of like look at what we're working with. So, starting with the first one. Okay, and in the directions, it says, name the figure and find the surface area. So, to name this figure, it is a rectangular pyramid. Yes, this one is. We need to write it. Rectangular pyramid. Okay, so step 1, name the figure. Step 2, now we're going to find the surface area. Basically all you're doing, you take the shape, it's already out in a net, thank goodness, to show you what shapes it's made of. Now, on the board I have put the formulas. But the formulas, we should kind of have them memorized. Now, the main 2 formulas you're going to need for this is honestly rectangles and triangles. So, I usually start with whatever the easiest shape is. I'm just going to be honest. But I need to show you something so you know this on every shape in the future. Okay, right here next to this 12, there is this little double line thing. Okay, and if you will notice, there are double lines on these other walls. That just means that you're allowed to use the same number wherever there's double lines. So each of these double lines is 12. Okay. Now, so I'm going to start with the box in the middle. The box in the middle is a 12 by 12. And it is a square. Call it a rectangle, whatever. Okay. So I know my formula is, guys, this is a lot of writing. You should be getting with me now. Here we go. So I usually take the shape, I draw it next to it. Now I'm going to write the formula, base times height. It is 12 times 12, 2 walls of 12, which is 144 inches, and area is squared. Now, something else I do, which is kind of silly or goofy or whatever you want to call it is, when I get done with that number or that shape, I usually take that total and I kind of put it in the middle. It might help us in the end to figure it out, to figure out the total. Okay, so that is only the square. Now I got to do each triangle. Now, I know the formula for a triangle. We need a base, we need a height, and to divide by 2. Now, you got to do this on the right angle thing, meaning right here. Here is my base. My base is 12. My height is 20.88. Okay, so, and after I graded some papers this week, a lot of papers this weekend. Guys, if they give you a decimal, like 20.88, you have to put that in your calculator. I got some of you, I think, that are just skipping out on decimals, or maybe you're not copying it off the calculator screen. But 0.88 times 12. Okay, I get 250.56. You got to copy that 0.56. divide by 2, 120. Sometimes you actually need to move the calculator in the light just to see where the decimal is. 0.28. Some of you aren't copying the decimal, is the other thing I noticed this weekend. Okay. Now, here is the next thing I warn you of. Okay, I'm only filling in the triangle that I found, which is that triangle. 125.28. Just that one triangle. The reason is, do not ever assume anything. Please, please, please check the numbers. So that triangle was a 12 times 20.88. So I'm going to look. Is this 12? Yes. If it folds up to a pyramid, does it have the same height? Yes. So I'm just kind of going around. That would be 12. That would be the same height. 12, same height. So all my triangles are 125.28. And you don't have to write it in every one. But what it helps is the last step. We got to put all those together. We've got to add them up. And some kids, if they don't write them in there, then they're only adding 125.28 plus the rectangle. But there's 4 triangles. So, yeah, what I've been doing is 125.28 times 4, and then adding in the middle number of 144. So, my final area is 645.12 inches squared for that area. That's what I was saying. This just takes a lot of writing. You can use highlighters if you need to or whatever. That's up to you. You have to show the formulas. You have to show the steps. Do not try to shorten anything. Okay. On number 2, it is what shape?
Triangular prism.
You got it. Triangular prism. So, all it is that prism is kind of unfolded weird. Okay? Notice, it's kind of like it closes up right here. And it's kind of like it wraps around and kind of closes up. And there's the top. But it's a triangular prism because there's triangles on each end. And it's flat on each end. Okay? Okay. Now, here we go. Triangular prism. Now, once again, I kind of start with the easy stuff, usually a square or a rectangle. I see this one first. I see that it is a 4 by 6. So I'm going to start with that rectangle being a 4 by 6. Okay, so that rectangle's 24. Now, please don't assume. Here we go. I'm going to look. I know that this is 4, so this must be 4. This has got double lines. It must be 4. What is this wall right here? 6. Now, the reason is, if you don't see it, like why I'm doing it, when you fold 2 walls together and they touch, that touch, when they touch right there, should be the same length. So all I'm doing, like that 6 would touch that wall. Does that make sense a little bit? Okay. So this one is for sure what? 24. And since we already did the math, we don't really have to do it again. Okay. Now I look at the next one. Okay, I know that it is a 4, but what is this wall? 6. Okay, so look, if this is 6, This is 6. And that 6 would also go there. So 24. Now I'm going to do the triangle in the middle. Okay. The triangle is, this base is what?
4.
Okay, it is 4. Remember, the double lines, it's going to be the same. So it is a 4 by 3. Okay. Divided by 2. Base times height, divided by 2. 4 times 3, divided by 2. 12 divided by 2. 6. Okay. So what I've gotten out of that is this triangle is 6. Okay. If one end of a prism is 6, the other end is 6. Or you could test it. I mean, it would be 4. The height would be the same as 3. So it's definitely a 6. Adding it all up, you need no, don't divide. Listen, all it is 3 24s and 2 6s. You're just adding it up. 24 plus 24 plus 24 plus 12. 84. 24 times 3 is 72. Plus 12, or 6 and 6, is 84. Yeah. Please add those numbers up twice when you are, if you're doing them on your own. Okay. Here we go. Go into the next one. This is where you definitely don't want to assume anything. Okay. First off, this shape is a triangular prism. Okay. 1 second, I'm going to show you. Okay, triangular prism. It is honestly this one. So, it's got triangle flaps on each end. Guys, if you didn't get it, look real quick just so you can see it. It's got triangle flaps on each end. The 3 rectangles make the walls. And then when it closes up, it's like that. And the weird part is the triangles, watch the triangles. This is a weirdly cut triangle. Okay? But the end flaps is what makes it triangular prism, because when it's folded shut, it's flat on each end. Okay? Triangular prism, flat. Okay. Now, I usually start with the easy stuff. I don't know if I'm lazy or just do it the easy way, but here we go. Let's see. To me, the easiest box to do is this one, because it is a 5 by 8. Okay. So, the pink box, and only the pink box, is 40. Okay. Now, this is where we got to start moving numbers around. Looking at the next box. This wall is, the green wall is 4. But what is this wall?
8.
8. The reason is that number's way over there, but it goes for all these walls, guys. Like that one's still 8, that one's still 8, that one's still 8. Because anything from there to theirs can be the same number, right? Okay, so if you need to move numbers over, move them over. Okay, so the green rectangle is a 4 by 8. Some of you haven't picked up your pencil in the last few minutes. It's making me wonder. Okay, which makes the green rectangle only 32. Okay, go into the, we'll call it yellow rectangle. Okay, this one's an 8, but what is this? 3, yes, that should be right there. So it is a 3 by 8 or 8 by 3. Going too fast. So the yellow rectangle is 24. Notice all three of those rectangles different amounts, different surface areas. Okay, now the triangular flaps on each end. Okay, one thing we got to remember is we're going to need to look at this 90. Always find the 90 when you're figuring out which walls you want to use. Now, here we go. The 90. What is this measurement on this wall? 4. From that number, right? Okay. What is this wall?
3.
3, correct, because these two would touch, so it would be a 4 by 3. Making sure you divide by 2. Yes. So, my triangle is 6. I'm going to check this one. Would this still be a 4? Right there. Yes. If that's 3, this is 3. That 3 would touch that wall to make it 3, so it's still a 4 by 3, so it is still a 6. Adding it all together, yes, 108, 108. Whatever that final answer is, try to kind of, what I call, circle it or something kind of big. 108. Make sure you do both 6s. No. I mean, you don't have to do this. This just helps me in the end to make sure I add them up right. Okay. This one is what I'm going to call a tissue box unfolded, otherwise known as a rectangular prism. And once again, do not ever trust how a picture is drawn. Make sure you use numbers. Like, what I mean by that is, like, don't assume a square is a square unless the numbers are there. Well, it's hard to explain, but that's the best way I do it. Okay, the top box, this rectangle, is a 7.4 times 3. Okay. Now, you cannot skip the decimals, or it is all incorrect. Well, to be honest, yes. And I don't know, like, you just can't, guys. I wouldn't want them to skip the change on my paycheck, so we can't do it in math class. Okay, so this box is 22.94. Okay. Now, the next box, and maybe some of the other ones, you're going to have to move some numbers around. Okay, so I need this wall. Well, this wall is the same as 5. Look, if I slide it over, it's the same length. Okay? Right. And this one going across the top is 7.4. Because if it's up here, it's going to go all the way down. So, $7.4 times 5. 37. Okay, now I'm going to kind of go to the next shape and pick it apart. Okay. Notice this. If this is 7.4, we know this is 7.4. All the way down, right? Because whatever it is here, like it's going down. So this box is a 7.4 times 3.1. Have we already done that math? Yes. And it is 22.94. I look like that's what you want to do is compare the numbers. Now, kind of slide this 5 over. If it's 5 there, we know it's 5 here. So have we done a 5 times 7.4? Where at? 37. So now we're kind of down to what I call the end flaps on the tissue box. Okay, and because the numbers are both 3.1 and 5. 3.1 and 5, yes. So, give me a second. $15.5. And then the key is adding them up correctly, even when there's decimals. What I usually do is this. There's 2 of each shape, right? So I usually add those 3 together, get a total, and then times 2. Doesn't matter how you do it. 150.88 centimeters squared. Did you get it? Okay, now we're going to keep going. Listen, quit worrying about packing up. Okay, the problem is this. Every shape is different. Well, they're not all different. A lot of the shapes are the same, but they can put the numbers in different places to confuse you. So I really need you to look at one with me, and I'm trying to help you. Okay, when you flip it over, yes, this is homework. But I want you to see something. That's 5. This is 6. I'm going to work on 6 with you because it almost got me earlier. I wasn't really paying attention. So let's see if we can get as far through this one as we can. 6 is what shape? Triangular prism. It is a triangular prism. Make sure you're on the same one as me. Okay, starting out. What if I start with this bottom rectangle? So let's look at it. The bottom of this rectangle is 17. Does everybody agree? Okay, what is this wall? 10. Here's why. That triangle, that is the length of that side. That 10, when we fold it up, would touch that wall. So, look real quick. When you fold it up, the triangle walls are going to touch right here. So, that is why that wall is 10. So, the green rectangle okay, so just the green rectangle I got is 170. Okay. I'm going to push some walls around. Yeah, look. If this is 17, from here to here, what is it from here to here? 17. So, right, this middle box is 8 here and 17 because of the lower wall there. Because this one was a 10 by 17. This one is an 8 by 17. I have no clue. I haven't made it that far. 8 by 17. Is it 136? Whew, I'm trying. Yeah, 136. I hadn't finished this one yet, to be honest. In any class, so I don't have it memorized. So the blue box is 136. Okay. Now, the top one. I'm going to look for numbers, guys. Make sure you're checking numbers. We know if this is 17, this is 17. But what is this wall? 10. Yes, that is going to go right there. So it is a 10. So 10 times 17 ends up being 170. So luckily it's kind of like we can use it again, which is 170. Now, the triangle is what almost tricked me up. You need a base and a height for a triangle, and it needs to be at a 90 degrees. Listen, hint, hint. Please look up here. From here to here is that number, 29. So from here to here is 29. Guys, we only need part of it. What number can we take out of 29? 17. Because we know from here to here is 17. So 29 minus 17 is 12. Now listen, it's kind of like this. You now have got 12 for both triangles. I only need half of it. 6. So it'd be a 6. It's kind of like this. 6, 17, 6. Like those heights are 6s. Now, that base has got to be what I'm going to call this bottom number. I feel like I'm running out of colors. Here we go. Okay. So it's got to be this number. What is the number that goes with that pink line? 8. So that triangle is a 6 by 8 divided by 2. Same thing here. It's kind of weird, like, so the triangle, six times 8 divided by 2, 48 divided by 2, 24. Now, 24 is for each triangle. And then in the end, I think so, I just don't. Yes, I got 524 centimeters squared. It's different, really different. Okay. If y'all want to use colored pencils and stuff, that is fine. I don't care.
These, would there be like both 12 or 6? The 9 is right there. No?
They're all the same, right?
So these are just only
They're 9 by 12 divided by 2.
So 9 by 12.
9 by 12. Okay. Gonna go back to number 5. Here I go. Going to number 5. The shape is a rectangular prism. Now, a couple things about this one. If you want to go ahead and move in some numbers, it might help. Meaning, if I know this is 6, I know this is 6, that is 6, and I can just go ahead and put those on there. Please stop and listen. If this is 3, then I know this is a 3. They have a 3 there. If this is 2, do y'all see how it's pointing there? Then we know this is 2, right? So I'm just kind of pointing out some things. If you want to fill in numbers first, that is fine. Okay, I'm going to start with this end one. It is a 6 by 3. Which is 18. With the numbers filled in, I'll be honest, I can see the other one a lot. Like, do you see the 6 and the 3 in the other one? Yes. I can just kind of jump to it because I see a 3 and a 6. And I know I don't need to do that math again. Okay. Right. What is the other long middle rectangle here? 2 and 6, right? 6 and 2. 12. Okay. Finish this one and the other two for homework. Finish the other ones for homework. Video might help later. You just might need to fast forward it or maybe watch the second. This group will need to watch the second video.
Wouldn't this be a 6x3?
6 by 1? Yes. No, slow down. Okay, if this and this are 2, that's 2, which would touch that, which is 2. Yes. Okay.
Can we go?